I'm Charlie Bride of Gold Derby, and today I am speaking with the Oscar-nominated filmmaker behind Robot Dreams, Pablo Berger. First question I wanted to ask you about this is one of the things I love about the movie is the design of Robot, and I'm wondering how did the design for Robot come about?
Well, the film is based in a graphic novel of the same title, Robot Dreams, by Sarah Baron. So definitely there was like a nice idea what the main character could be. But of course, when you translate a graphic novel to a film, there's an evolution. We definitely had to evolve. It's more round, more square, longer legs. But definitely the inspiration is the original source of the graphic novel designed by Sarah Baron.
And how did the graphic novel come across your radar?
Well, the graphic novel came to me like in the 2010, and it's for a very clear reason. I collect wordless books, wordless graphic novels for a long time. When my daughter was very small, I wanted to read books when she didn't know how to read. So it was great. Wordless books, you don't know how to read, we can read it together. So this book has become, a big collection. I have over 100 books. So I ordered this book, has not been published in Spain. I loved it. It was amazing, became one of my favorite, put it back on the shelf of my graphic novel collection. Made two films, live action films, made Blancanieves, made Abracadabra. And in 2018, one day I was having a coffee, took the book, read it. But this time when I got to the end, I was deeply moved. When I'm talking about deeply moved, I was in tears. And it really had never happened before to me reading a graphic novel. So I know that I was visualizing the film. I was imagining the film. Like directors have one talent, that is we can visualize a film, we can hear it. So I know at that moment, wow, what a great ending. So at that moment, I decided I have to make an animation film, but not even once in my life. That was actually the first time in my life that I thought about making an animated film. Thank God that I have very courageous producers from my previous films. If I had a trademark, is that all my films are very different from each other, that I take risks. So I was not scared. My producers were not scared. So we just had to finance the film and make it happen. So that's what we did. And 5 years later, we have Robot Dreams finished.
One of the things that's so noticeable about the movie is the importance of the song September by Earth, Wind, and Fire, as we hear it throughout the movie. Was that something that was in the graphic novel, or was that something that was come up for specifically for the movie?
Yeah. Well, the graphic novel is a very simple story with very like not very detailed, neither backgrounds. And of course, because it's wordless, there's no references to music. But for me, early on in my first draft of the script, I thought if the film takes place from September to September, and I created a scene that doesn't appear in the graphic novel, that Robot and Dog, they go roller dancing in Central Park, and I needed a song for them to have a big musical number, roller dance. He said like, wow, they made in September, let's put September. It's about the same time. It has a great beat and a great rhythm, and it's one of my favorite songs. And it started like that in the first draft. And I realized that if that's the first song that they heard together, what about it becomes the main theme? Because appears repeatedly in the film in different versions, with the piano, whistle, and of course in the grand finale. So it was great to come up with that idea. And even I will go further on, that is just, it was amazing when we started the production, that we realized that in the first three words of the lyrics appeared the theme of the film. The song starts, do you remember the 21st night of September? Do you remember? That's what the film about. The film talks about memory as a way to overcome the loss, and how important is memory to when you're not with someone anymore, or you have to move on. But if you have memories, it really helps you to heal. So I think memory is a big theme of the film and appears in the lyrics of the song.
Yeah, I know you said that there's that since the graphic novel's wordless, there's not a lot of like identifying details in there. But was the setting of the 1980s New York in that novel established in the novel as well, or was that again was that something that you brought to it when adapting it?
Yeah, let me see if I have the graphic novel around here. I should, I don't know, but because I could show it to you. The thing is that the design is very simple. You know that it's an American city. You see a aluminum can, there's some kind of elements, but it's not clear that it's New York. So for me, it was very important that New York became one of the characters. Robot Dog and New York. So New York was not in the graphic novel. And for me, this is very important because I lived 10 years in New York. So in a way, I wanted this film to be my love letter to the Big Apple, the city where I became a film director because I went to study film, MFA in NYU. So I I became also an adult. I went very young there, and my heart was broken. I fell in love. My heart was broken again. Fell in love. Made friends, lost friends. So really, those 10 years were key in who I am now. So it was great to find that New York as a key element in the storytelling of this film.
And what about setting it in the 80s? I was just curious. Is that how did that decision get made?
Yeah, the thing is that the book, the graphic novel, it's set in the time that it was published, well, more
Oh,
or
okay.
less 2007. So that's also another ingredient that I in the adaptation. I should say that the adaptation, it keeps the spirit of the book. I would say the book is the melody, and if I put a metaphor, if I'm a jazz musician, it's like if I'm like working with a standard, and sometimes I improvise, and for a big passage, I'm creating new characters and new scenes, and then when I think it's necessary, I go back to the melody. But there's such a two different media, graphic novel to a film. It's not like in a novel. In a novel, you have to it's so complex a novel in terms of storytelling compared to film that you have to take out things from the novel. In a graphic novel, most of the time, if you adapt a graphic novel, you have to add scenes and characters and complexity because a graphic novel is one artist working for 1 year. In animation film, you have hundreds of artists working for 5 years. So they're two different media. But after said that, what it was amazing for me is that when Sarah Baron saw the film at the Toronto Film Festival, she just was so happy to see the adaptation. She just grabbed me in tears and said, it's amazing. You told the same story, but it's so different. And I really feel proud of it, that I really wanted to protect the soul, the theme. Basically, the reason that I made this film, it was just because I love the theme and the soul. So, but if we compare and if we ask, there's so many, many, many difference between the graphic novel and the book and the film.
Is so I mean, we were talking earlier, and I was and I was mentioning that this is your first animated film that you've ever directed, and I'm curious as to was working in animation something that you had always wanted to do or aspired to do?
Well, not even once. I never thought ever I was going to make an animation film or an animated film. You have to realize that I went to film school. I have made 3 live action films. I have a career in Europe. So the most normal step, or when I was writing and thinking, I was thinking about making another live action film. So it was just by chance. It was just like the graphic novel loved so much the story, and the protagonists were an anthropomorphic dog and a robot. So, and the characters that were supporting characters, they were also anthropomorphic animals. So it was like, if I want to tell this story, I have to make it animation. And as I said, the third act of the graphic novel, the story, the end of the story was so powerful to me. They said like, okay, I don't know anything about animation, but I'm going to make this film. But at the same time, my producers were not even surprised. You would think, oh, your producers were surprised. I made 3 films with them before. So this is like, they know that every time that I make a film, I go in a different direction. I like to get out of my comfort zone. I feel sometimes that a director should be like a circus act. And I like every time I make a new act and something more difficult than the previous film. So the challenge of making animation film, the fact that I was scared, that I had fear, but it didn't block me. It motivated me. So that part, the fact that it was animated and I didn't know anything about the technique, it was one of the key reasons to making this film.
So as I said at the beginning, you got some very welcome news, I think, last week when Robot Dreams got nominated for Best Animated Feature at the 96th Oscars. Congratulations on that, by the way.
Thank you,
What was it
Carl.
like what was it like that morning finding out that you got nominated for an Oscar?
I don't know. Have you seen the video that when we received the news? We should tell Molly to send it to you or Neon, because we put a mobile phone, a smartphone, just recording us, but we just left it there, and we just follow the live moment of when the Oscars announcing the nominees. We scream. We were like, me, the producers. You cannot imagine how we received it. It felt like we won like the lotto, the lotto, like it was crazy. It was the happiness. And at that time, you don't realize what it means. It's just you get this immense happy because you think about, I think, all the 5 years and the process, and you think about the team. So many things come like flashes to you. I think my smile increased a few inches, both sides. I think my mouth is already big, but it just got even bigger. And for even now, it's over a week. When I wake up in the morning, I'm just like waking up and I hear, oh, Oscar nomination. And it gets a big smile. But apart from these things, for me, the big thing about the nomination is that more people are going to see Robot Dreams. The Oscars are the biggest influencers, film influencers in the world. And for a director, there's no bigger prize than get global audience, that the film is seen all over for the biggest amount. It's not about, when we make films, it's not about ego, it's about connection. We want to connect. When we were talking before the interview, you told me when you saw it and how you felt, it made me happy. So I know so many more millions of people are going to see Robot Dreams because the Oscar nomination, and I have to thank the Academy for this nomination, for that.
And I'm just curious, was it when you see it, because they read the names of the nominees alphabetically,
Yeah.
and so like when it was getting down to there, and you got 2 more slots left there, was your heart just going like crazy?
Well, let's see. Yeah, this is funny that you're explaining and how it is. We didn't know that.
Oh,
We
okay.
were not thinking, we're not used to be one of the favorites or in the front line for the Oscars. So we were not thinking that it was in alphabetic. We were not that smart. We were just commenting as they came out. And so they have to send you the video. You can put it online. They can send it to you and put the link. Because we were like commenting, no, yes, oh, no, this is possible. No, we're not going to be there. No, it's impossible. Because we were even like very desperate early on, we were very desperate on the third because Robot Dreams is the fourth. And then after Robot Dreams comes Spider-Man, but we didn't know that. So we were like, oh, no. So but now I know. Now for the next time, one of my films it's in the list of in the predictions. Now I will be more relaxed and I will be more like, okay, let's just think alphabetically. So, yeah, but it was so exciting. It was so exciting.
Well, Pablo, thank you so much for joining us. We wish you all the best over the next couple of weeks. And to all of our viewers, please like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to keep on coming to goldderby.com to make your Oscar predictions in advance of the 96th Oscars on March 10th. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Charlie.